This video is about the psychology of dieting, and it's particularly about the success and failure of dieting. We're going to start with the failure of dieting because if you want to maintain a healthy weight loss, then it's good to know what fails so that you can avoid those pitfalls in the future. This video is for anybody who's interested in losing weight and maintaining weight loss, but it's also for any UK students studying A2 psychology, the AQA-A specification. So this might be helpful for your exam. The first theory we're going to look at for why diets fail is the Restraint Theory by Herman and Mack. So Cleges et al. 1987 found that 89% of the female UK population have consciously restrained their food intake at some point in their lives in order to lose weight. So we can see that restraining your eating, the restraint theory, is a very common method for people who want to lose weight. However, it doesn't really work. Herman and Mack 1975 found that restraining your food intake actually increases the probability of overeating. And Herman and Polivy wanted to explain why, and did so with something called the boundary model. So if you look at these pictures, you can see on the left-hand side the blue and yellow picture. This is a normal eater, and the first yellow line represents when somebody becomes hungry. So they get a normal eater will become hungry, and then they will eat until satiety, which means when they feel full up. So a normal eater will feel hungry, eat food until they feel full up, satiety, and then they'll stop. However, a restrained eater, you can see the picture on the right, the pink and purple picture, they will start to feel hungry more quickly than a normal eater, and they give themselves a self-imposed diet boundary. So you can see the second line isn't when they feel full up, it's the line they've given themselves, and they're going to think, I'm not going to eat beyond this amount per today. However, according to Herman and Polivy, once they go over this boundary, so they might, supposing they've decided they're only going to eat a certain amount today, and then they end up eating some biscuits. According to Herman and Polivy, that's it, they've gone over their boundary that they've imposed on themselves. And so they have this what the hell effect, and they then therefore eat and eat until way beyond satiety. They don't really know where satiety is. They don't know when they feel full up, so they keep eating. So you can see that restraint theory, like if you restrain your eating, will often lead to failure in dieting because you can't maintain that self-imposed boundary, especially because you don't feel full up when you hit the boundary. So when you go to bed feeling hungry, that's a horrible way to feel, can make you feel irritable in the daytime if you're hungry. So you're going to break that boundary, and as soon as you break it, you're going to just go, what the hell, what the heck, and you're going to eat and eat and eat. So don't do it. Well, you can do it if you want to. The second theory that is to do with the failure of dieting is about the role of denial, which means if you are going to deny yourself certain foods. Wegener et al. Is the psychologist, 1987, who did an experiment to show about the role of denial. So I'll tell you about the experiment and then we'll apply it to dieting. So Wegener et al. Had two groups of participants, and he told one group not to think about a white bear, and he told the other group to think about the white bear. And when either of the groups, when anybody thought about the white bear, they had to ring a bell. And what he found was the people who were told not to think about the white bear rang their bells far more often than those told to think about it. So if you're told not to do something, you end up doing it more. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in your mind until that's all you can think about. So when you apply this to dieting, it's called the theory of ironic processes of mental control. And it's exactly the same as that white bear. If you deny yourself something, a food, say chocolate biscuits or pizza, if pizza is your thing, if you think, I'm not going to think about it, then you're going to end up thinking about it all the time, and you're going to become completely preoccupied with it until it becomes bigger and bigger in your mind, and that's all you can think about. So quick recap, failure in dieting is restraining your eating and also denying yourself certain things. So if that's the failure of dieting, then what does work? How do you successfully diet? And Redden, 2008, said that it's the attention we pay to food as to whether we're going to be successful in our diets. What he's talking about here is how you think about things. And in psychology, so often, your thoughts will actually determine your behaviour. So Redden is saying you've got to really think about the food that you're eating. You've got to really pay attention to and think closely and deeply about what you're doing. So if you're going to have a pasta salad, you wouldn't think, oh, pasta salad. You need to really think about all the components of that salad and really make sure you enjoy it as well. And he says that by thinking about it, you are going to become bored less quickly. And I think he's onto something here. Like in the past, I might have eaten a couple of biscuits, and before I know it, I might have eaten a whole packet of biscuits, but I don't even remember eating them. I certainly haven't tasted them or savoured them, haven't noticed all the flavours of it. So if you consciously think about the things that you're eating, then Redden says that is the key to a successful diet. There's a TV program in the UK called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where a bunch of celebrities sit in the jungle, and they're basically on starvation rations, and they can do little exercises to win food. And you can see on this picture, this is a celebrity called Ashley Roberts. You can see the genuine delight on her face that she's going to get to eat one chocolate biscuit. She is delighted by that. And when they take them back to camp, they're all there and they're savouring the flavour, they savour them. And so Redden is saying, do that, savour the food that you're eating, think about everything that you're eating, think about what you're consuming, and that will really help you to successfully diet. What Redden hasn't really looked at here is genetic influence on weight. Katie Hopkins, who's a celebrity in the UK, chose to gain 3.5 stone, which is a huge amount of weight, about 22 kilos or 50 pounds, and then lose it again to show people how easy it is to lose weight. And her viewpoint is that if you move more and eat less, then you're going to lose weight. But is it that easy for all people? It's likely that a number of genetic mechanisms have an influence on weight. So the same diet might influence two people's weight differently. One such gene codes for something called lipoprotein lipase, LPL, which is an enzyme produced by fat cells to help store calories as fat. Too much LPL means a person will be especially efficient at storing calories and put on weight more easily, which seems really unfair, but it's true. Well, I think it's true. It's a theory. So when Katie Hopkins has said, oh, it's easy, just eat less and exercise more, actually it's not that easy for all people. And if you're somebody who has high LPL levels, then you could eat the same diet. If you look at this picture, you could eat the same diet as somebody with normal LPL. So you might eat steak and chips and tomatoes, but if you've got high LPL levels, then you're going to put on more weight than a person with normal LPL levels. So you're going to have to be particularly careful in trying to lose weight. You're going to have to make sure that you've got loads of healthy options available, because if people are eating around you and you're hungry, then it's you've got to have the healthy foods. Because if you so for example, a friend of mine who's really nice, she said to me, oh, do you want some biscuits for your cup of tea? And I said, no, I'm all right, thank you, I've got an apple. And she went, oh, go on, one won't hurt. And I thought, no, it won't hurt you, but it will hurt me. So if you are a person with high LPL, you're going to have to be really, really vigilant with yourself. Make sure you've got tons of nice, healthy snacks with you, so that when people offer you things like biscuits or whatever your thing is, that you can say, no, it's fine, thanks, because it will affect you more deeply. The other cruel thing about LPL is that LPL makes it easier to regain lost weight. So sometimes, and you might be one of these people, you might lose weight and then put the whole lot back on again plus some. And Kern thinks that it's because LPL, if you've got high LPL, then it's as if you try and you regain the lost weight much more easily. So they studied 9 people who lost an average of 90 pounds, studied their LPL levels before and 3 months after dieting. After their weight loss, their LPL levels rose, and the fatter to start with, the higher the LPL levels were. It's as if the body was fighting to regain the weight. Researchers believe that weight loss activated the gene producing the enzyme. So this explains, well, it might explain yo-yo dieters and why it's easier for some people to lose weight than others. So yes, you do have to have a healthy diet and move more, but if you are a person with high LPL, you've got to just make sure you've got tons of really healthy snacks available to you, because if you do eat things like that other people might be eating, like biscuits, and they don't put on any weight, you might do. And the second thing we're going to look at as to the success of dieting is anti-dieting programs, which sounds quite strange, doesn't it? Like, you would expect it to be a dieting program, not an anti-dieting program. But if you think that restraint leads to overeating, then telling an obese person to restrain their eating is going to lead to failure. And anti-dieting programs aim to replace dieting with conventional healthy eating. So instead of going on a diet, they're trying to get you to actually change your lifestyle and become more healthy. And the emphasis is on recognising genuine hunger and satiety levels. So if you think right back to that boundary model, a normal eater knows when they're hungry and knows when they're full, and an anti-dieting program is trying to reteach that to somebody. And it's trying to make people aware so that they don't comfort eat. They might give them other things to do, other mechanisms to help them rather than comfort eating. Higgins and Gray's 1999 meta-analysis of anti-dieting programs found improvements in both eating behaviour and psychological well-being, and found that it helped people with their weight stability. So instead of going on some kind of crash diet, it sounds like common sense, doesn't it? You change your lifestyle and you become more healthy. Now that all sounds very easy, that is the psychology of it, but how do you do that? And one of the things that I've been doing is going to something called Slimming World. Now, I'm not employed by Slimming World, I don't get paid by them, but it works really well for me and it's worked for a lot of people. And I can identify why it works from a psychological point of view. Slimming World does not restrain your eating. If you go along to a group and talk to the consultant, they'll tell you you can eat as much as you want, whenever you want, night and day. And you think, no, how? I'm not employed by them, I'm not going to tell you their tricks of the trade. You need to go along yourself if you're interested. But they don't restrain eating, and we know from Herman and Mack that restraining eating leads to overeating. So that's one of the reasons that Slimming World is so effective. Another reason it's so effective is that it does not advocate denying yourself anything. You can have anything you want to eat in your diet, and what they do is they call it SINs, which I think stands for synergy. But you can, SINs, you can incorporate all those things, those added treats, those things that you really, really like into your diet, and they make sure they actually want you to incorporate SINs into your diet, because if you deny yourself all the things that you like, then they think you're going to fall off the wagon and just lose your diet completely. And that's what Wegener found out, wasn't it? That if you deny yourself certain foods, then you become utterly preoccupied with them, and that's all you can think about. So Slimming World actively encourages you to incorporate those things, like might be chocolate or wine or pizza or anything you like. You incorporate it into your diet, so you're not denying yourself anything, but you just don't eat as much of it. And the other thing that Slimming World does is have something called a body image group, which is a group after a weekly weigh-in where you focus on the details of the food. So if you think back to Redden, who said think about what you're eating, in the body image group you can swap recipes, talk about the details of food, really get excited about what you're going to eat that week, and that will help you with your diet as well. So Slimming World, and I'm sure there's many other diet groups that do anti-dieting programs or things like Slimming World that will do this, will really help you if you want to maintain your weight. And Slimming World will, once you get down to your target weight, you then get free membership, so you keep going. And I think there's something about that accountability that really does help, knowing that you're going to go back. So here's a few, this is a real person I'm showing you some pictures of now. This is Liam. And although Liam didn't go to Slimming World, his partner Leah does go to Slimming World, and I work with Leah. So he just kind of followed what Leah did, and he's so far lost 10 stone 6, and I think he's still got a few pounds to go. And you can just see the transformation in him. Leah has also lost a substantial amount of weight, and it was Leah that got me into Swimming World. She was talking about it in the recipes, and I said, are you ever hungry? She said no, and I thought, right, I'm going to do it, I'm going to go, because I really hate being hungry, but I had stacked on so much weight after having my 2 beautiful children. I'm in my 30s, I'd had 2 C-sections very close together, changing lifestyle, being a full-time, working full-time and being a mum as well, just didn't have the time for exercise that I used to do. So I've lost about 1.5 stone, still got a stone to go, but it has really worked for me. And I think especially because I'm never hungry and I can incorporate those treats that I really love into my diet. So I hope you found this video helpful. Either you're a A2 student and this will be useful information for your exam, or you're just very interested in how to lose weight and what will work, and hopefully what will work for you. If you are considering a weight loss program, then I would always recommend going to see your GP or doctor first, just to make sure there's no medical issues or any health issues or eating disorders that you might have, as well as using information from this. Make sure that you seek medical help if you are looking to lose a substantial amount of weight or any amount of weight. Okay, thank you.
Can I break away now so that I will see what's happened to us now?